Hi, I'm just going to check sound and a few things. That's why we're starting a minute or two earlier. Net gekyk. Check. There is sound and a few things. Okay, there is sound, lovely. Okay, so I think it is 1 o'clock already, so I think we can start. Hello everyone that's watching this video. Hi. Firstly, I think it's very important to put a, let's call it a disclaimer, but something that I feel I want to say at the beginning of this video is that what I'm saying today is I'm talking from my experience. Okay, so I am not here to take anybody on. I'm not here to diss people's beliefs, whatever your beliefs are. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this live video because I had more than 100 people on WhatsApp and almost 200 people on Facebook since last week sending me messages wanting to know why did I leave the South African Satanic Church, as well as why did I turn my back on Satanism. So that is why I'm doing this video. To be very honest, I initially thought I will slip out the back door quietly, and I didn't really think that people would be this interested in why I am doing what I'm doing. So I just want to say that. And again, I'm going to talk from my experience. I'm going to talk about my choices. I am not taking people on. I'm not here to get into arguments about religion, beliefs, or any of that. That's not why I'm doing this. So I want to talk about my experience, my personal experience that I've had. I was, for more than a month, not allowed to talk about my choices and decisions for obvious reasons, because certain organization wanted to obviously prepare themselves as well for when this comes out or comes into the news. I've also have some questions from journalists that I'm going to answer today. The reason I'm doing that as well is that I'm not in a space at the moment where I want to do interviews with people from the media and stuff. So that's also why I'm doing this video and why I'm leaving it out there, so that if people want to write about it, it's their choice. But this will be my statement. This will be my statement that people can go back to, and certainly I will refer them back to that. So I'm not going to answer all the questions, obviously, because some of them are very, well, let's say similar. So I'm going to address, after I've talked about my experience, I will answer some of the questions that people from the press and the media have sent me. That's more or less similar questions. So I will answer that. So I just want to give you a little bit about my background, because I feel it is important to the narrative and it is important for context maybe. And that is why and how I got involved in Satanism in the first place. And I was shown a lot of things over the last month about myself. So today I'm going to talk to you from a personal space, but with an open heart. So I initially wrote a very long statement that I typed out over the weekend, and I was going to read it, but then about an hour ago I felt, you know what, maybe let's just talk from the heart, because this is personal. So that's why I'm going to talk from my heart, and I actually feel it's time that more people just start talking, speaking their truth and talk. So I'm certainly encouraging people to do that as well by doing this video, hopefully. So I got involved with Satanism because at the time it resonated with me, being very broken and being very sad without realizing it. And I think the reason why a lot of people resonate with Satanism is they come from a very broken place. And I have met thousands of Satanists over the last 3 years. And I'm not saying that their intentions are bad or whatever, but they are extremely broken and extremely hurt. And that's the one thing they all have in common. And that's the thing that, coming from a place of hurt and being broken, that's why I resonated with the philosophy, because the way certain things are written, it's written from a place of anger, and people read it and they would resonate with it, and they would say, but this is what I've been feeling. And if you are broken, you will certainly resonate with the philosophy. So that is how I got involved in it, and that was more than 4 years ago, and things progressed from there. And as most people know, we took the church, the Satanic Church, very publicly at the time, because we felt it's it's needed to stand up against certain things and represent Satanism. So at that time, I did believe that is what is my truth and what was real to me, not realizing how broken I was. So I'm also not here today to say that I'm a victim, because I've certainly never been a victim. I've never claimed victimhood or any of that. So just about the background, but my experience of what I've had in the last month plus is what I want to share today, and that is the topic of the video. To get back to the topic at hand is why did I leave, and why did I resign from the South African Satanic Church, as well as why did I turn my back on Satanism. So let's start by saying that I've never known unconditional love in my whole life. And up to today, there's only four Christians. There's definitely more than 4 people, but there's been 4 Christians in my whole life that have shown me what unconditional love is. I thought I'm not gonna get emotional, but it is what it is. So, and I want to thank those 4 people today, and it adds to the story. So, Donnie and Adele Frey, I don't know, words cannot express what you have done for me. Adele sent me a message over this weekend, and she said, but I've done such a simple thing. I've just showed you love. People, means to show someone love is everything. It's not a simple thing. You have showed me everything. You've showed me the love of Christ. I've seen it in you. So, Donnie and Adele, thank you so much for that. And you've showed me unconditional love in a time where I was a monster, an ugly person, where I took people like you on. You showed me unconditional love. So thank you for that. So the important part of my experience is that in the middle of May it's about 2 months ago, I did my last interview for the South African Satanic Church, not knowing that that would be my last radio interview that I'm doing. And most people know about the interview. It was a Cape Talk. And there's a woman who works there. It doesn't matter. I didn't speak to her before this video, so I'm not sure if I can mention her name. I'm just going to call her Amy. So Amy have been communicating with me about media stuff, about the South African Satanic Church over such a long period of time. And we never met in person because of COVID, and all the interviews was online, etc. So I did this interview, and after the interview, this lady came to me. And in this interview, I said, I don't believe in Jesus. And I don't believe that Jesus Christ exists, because I didn't. And she came to me after the interview, after I said that. And she hugged me, and she held me in a way that I've never been loved. That's all she did. She didn't say anything. She just said, it's nice to finally meet you in person. And she just hugged me and she held me. And a week later, through WhatsApp, through a status, I saw this woman is a Christian. I couldn't believe it, because I've never had a Christian do that. I've never experienced a Christian showing that much love and acceptance unconditionally. After I've said the things I've said, she did that. And it stayed with me. I said, oh, okay, cool, she's a Christian, whatever. And then a week later, and I don't want to talk about Satanism. I don't want to talk about the details of it, but in the occult, there is certain rituals that you do to ascend to the top of a pyramid, and you can only do a certain amount at a time. And after that interview, I had a meeting with council members at the church, and they said, okay, great, now we've done all these interviews and people know, and it's growing, Satanism is growing, and believe me people, it's growing. And I had to do a ritual by myself to see what is the next step. What is the next thing? How do I get more power, more influence? And I did this ritual, and I opened myself up. And Jesus appeared. And I was extremely cocky. And I said, whatever. If you are Jesus, you need to prove it. And he flooded me with the most beautiful love and energy. And I recognized it immediately, because that woman at the radio station showed it to me. That's how I recognized the love of Christ. Because 4 people, 4 Christians showed it, not the others. So I recognized it. I'm going to change specs, sorry, because transition is not transition apparently anymore. Excuse me. There we go. I recognized it immediately because 4 people showed it to me, and I didn't understand it at the time. I couldn't understand it because, like I said, I didn't believe. Even when I was in Christian ministry almost 20 years ago, apologies, you think you believe things and you're like, okay, so there's a book that tells you certain things and therefore it's that. I never knew it until a month or 2 ago. And I could recognize it because there's 4 people who showed it to me. And it's not the people who fight you and they declare spiritual warfare and they do things, and that's not the love of Christ. The love of Christ is unconditional. And for the last month, I've been having conversations, real conversations with God. And there's things that we will never understand with our cognitive minds. We will never understand it. And I've had people, obviously, in the last few weeks say, you know what, it's cognitive dissonance and whatever, like intellectual things, and I've studied this and that. So have I. I've been an atheist for most of my life. I've been a Satanist for 5 years. So I understand where a lot of those people come from. But when you experience it, it is something different. And again, I'm not here to attack people, but I want to get a few things off my chest. I have for a long time believed that I am not worthy of God's grace because I'm gay and because I have certain abilities. So people made me believe for a very long time I'm not worthy of that. Let me tell you something today. The kingdom of God is not a gated community. The kingdom of God is open to everybody. It's called grace. It's called grace, people. And somebody forwarded me, I want to talk about this stuff. Somebody forwarded me a video over the weekend of a Christian taking on a Satanist, talking about his piercings and his long hair and he's going to hell and all of that stuff. And he also said, he used an example saying that, yeah, God doesn't come to you, you have to go to God, like going to a barbershop or whatever. Listen, sweetie, listen, love. God is everywhere. God is omnipresent. In Afrikaans sê ons alomteenwoordig. That means everywhere. That means at every satanic ritual, at every interaction with another human being. Everywhere. And God can reveal himself to anybody at any time, anywhere. But when you tell people they're going to hell, when you tell people, when you call out their sins, when you tell people things like God will judge you, etc., you do not know grace. No one is worthy of grace more than the next person. Grace is for everybody. Grace is for, doesn't matter what color skin you have, it doesn't matter which religion. Grace, God's grace is available to everybody. But it is our choice whether to accept that or not. And we constantly get opportunities for that. And this was my opportunity, and I took it. I made the choice. I chose light. I am living for light. And it's because of that grace that I can do that. And I pray, I really pray. My prayer is for everyone to ask, if you are a believer, ask God to show you that grace. Ask that grace will be revealed to other people. Because it's not in religion. It's not. Religion has hurt a lot of people, including me. This is how I got here. This is how I got here, is religion. People would say, but the Bible says this, and and you're not worthy, etc. It's for everyone. It's open to anybody. And I'm not here today to tell you, you must go and seek it, and go and find it, and it will be revealed to you. There's constant opportunities. But these people that is going out there and saying that if you are gay, or if you are a psychic, or if you have certain abilities and it doesn't fit into the box, therefore you are from the devil, and find it yourself. It's important. I feel it's what the world needs. It's love. It's that unconditional love. And we all, it's our nature to judge people, etc. It is what it's the human condition. And like I said, when you are hurt, when you're coming from a hurt place, you will deny that. And I did for a very long time. I denied it. To experience it, how to experience God's love is to turn it outward. To love other people, to love your animals. Animals come to this planet to show us unconditional love. I've worked a long time with other healers and students. I've trained people in healing, and we would go to certain shelters and we will meet so many abused animals. And I asked my student, she's very gifted and she communicates with students, and I asked her, these animals that have been so abused, are they angry? And she said to me, no. They feel so sad for humans. Because we don't get it. We don't get it. Sorry. It's just, I'm still processing a lot of the stuff. I've written so much, and I'm going to share everything. And I'll do it in videos, and I'm probably going to write a book. It looks like it. Wow. But it's time. If you have an opportunity and you can love, that love is never lost. Nothing is lost in the mind of God. Nothing. And everything that exists, everything that will still happen it exists already in the mind of God. We just haven't experienced it. So this is why we're here. We're here to experience that. And constantly, of course, we make mistakes, but grace, people, grace is there. That's the road back to who we truly are. Sorry. So I just, again, want to say, and I'm not going to focus my life on trying to free people from Satanism and getting them out of the occult. Sorry. So battery warning, load shedding. So I'm not going to focus on that. That's not what I want to do. My focus is going to be on healing people, and having a space for people who are hurt, who were hurt by other religions and people. That's what I want to focus on. There is people who have a calling to deliver people, help people away from Satanism, out of the occult, and that is their calling, and they have a very rightful place. But what I want to focus on is healing people and loving people. That's what I want to do. I just want to love people. I want to show them that unconditional love that I've experienced through my work. And that's what I've chosen. And it's being shown to me little by little. I had a beautiful experience as well recently, where I was walking on the beach and just talking to God and my guides and angels, and out of nowhere again, so this can be coincidence, but I know this person, we crossed paths. It's an old woman that used to be involved with me more than 20 years ago when I was still trying to help people in, let's call it the apostolic way. And he knew, I mean, he was already 60 at the time, so he's now in his 70s. But he already knew then who I was, and he tried to show me that it's okay in ways that he could do it, obviously. But anyway, our paths crossed recently after 20 years. And he said to me, still thinking I'm obviously a Satanist, that I don't know why, but I have to have this conversation with you. And he said to me, imagine there can be a religion based on the teachings of Jesus. Because it's not Christianity. And again, I'm not dissing religion, and he wasn't either. He was just saying the important thing is love. Is that teaching that unconditional love. That is what it's important. That is what it's important. And I'm going to focus my energy on that. That's what I'm going to do. So I hope that answers the question on why, plus the question on how. So I think the main questions I would like to answer, and then I think that would be it. So let's just see. Again, some of the stuff I also think is very irrelevant, but these are the things that people want to know. These are the things that people from the media have asked me. So, do I think the South African Satanic Church will still go on, etc.? Yes, most likely it will, and it's okay. It's people's choice. People need to make their own choices. I'm choosing light, so that's what I'm doing. And the organization is very big, and there's certain things that I won't be able to talk about because I've signed a non-disclosure agreement, and it's to protect people's identity and people's privacy, which I respect anyway. I respect people's right to choice and their identity, their privacy. I do respect it, and I also expect the same, that people would respect mine. So some of these questions I can't answer, but certainly they will. They will continue. They might go underground eventually. I don't know. But just remember, this organization has existed long before I even came along. We were just taking it public, and we were the faces. So people still think the whole organization is me, and it's not. It never was. And it certainly isn't anymore. So, yeah, that's all I can say about that. Tattoos. Interesting. Firstly, I want to say something, and this is for everybody. If you are still focused on people's tattoos and piercings and things like that, I think there's much more important things to focus on. Much more. There's much more things to focus on than people's tattoos. And yes, there is tattoos that I'm gonna remove, and I've already started with a process where it's not the laser option where things get taken off immediately, because I respect my skin. So there's certainly things that I will be removing, and I'm already busy with that process. It takes time, but yeah, so that is happening. Many people ask this. I don't know. Okay. Also, okay, doesn't matter. So interesting, a lot of people wanted to ask about the high profile, like, would you be willing to tell us who the high profile Satanist is? No. I've signed a non-disclosure agreement. Plus, even if I didn't, I respect people's privacy and their choice. All we can do, again, is to show people love, because if they see it and experience it, they can choose it. And we can't force people to choose. We can only show up and be representational of that love, that unconditional love. That's what we can do, and that's how people would be able to choose, because people can't make a choice if they do not know what it looks like. So for me, when I saw it and I knew this is my choice, and I didn't know that choice was an option before because I've never experienced it. I've always tried to reason it out, and I did not believe that that unconditional love of Christ and grace is a choice. I never knew that was an option for me. So when I saw it, I chose it. And that's enough, because like I said, people are extremely broken. People are extremely hurt. So was I. So when you show people the choice, that's all we can do. Praying for people, yes, it does help, but not in an aggressive way. Judging people, calling them out, that's not love. That's not God. God is love. That's it. I get it. I really get it now. And Jesus was one of the teachers that was God impersonated to show us that unconditional love. That's it. The rest, I feel, and again, what I'm experiencing and what the information I'm getting by having these conversations with God or the divine or is more important than anybody's opinion. But my point is, I want to be that. I want to be able to be that for others, because I know what it's like to be judged and cast out, and there's always a little price tag to people's love and da-da-da. Somebody needs to show, and there certainly is people, like I said, I've met in my life 4 Christians that have shown me that. And unfortunately, I will not go to any church, because I've never experienced Christ's love in a church, in any of the churches. So I will not go there, because I've been hurt so badly by it, And so have many, many people. The thousands and thousands of applications for membership to the South African Satanic Church that I've seen was majority. I've been hurt by Christians. I hate God. Da 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 da. Because that's been their experience. That's how people get lost. That's how people miss this whole thing of what it really is about, by thinking it is what other people tell you. And it's a book, etc., and this and that. It's not a book, people. God speaks to us in so many different ways. But it is our choice whether we want to experience that or not. There's no condemnation. There's no judgment. It's perfect love, and it's grace, and it is available to anybody, for everybody. So I've answered most of these questions now already. You're very welcome to. I'm going to keep this video up on my Facebook so that people can go back and watch it if I feel these questions have been answered. So I don't know at the moment what is going to happen the immediate future, like in this week. I know the bigger picture, what I'm trying and what I'm being shown I need to do. So I will be creating, and it's not just me, I have to give credit where credit is due. There's people who have done certain courses in the past, and people that I've met, and people that I've grown a bit of relationship with, that sees light the same, and that feels that healing is important. And so with them we are creating something. So it will be revealed. I will start posting things that I've written on a website, which I will make available. You're welcome to read it. And again, I do not need people to agree with it. I don't. You don't need to be wrong for me to be right. Okay, so I'm putting it out there because these are my experiences, and that's what I've been shown. And I've written, I counted this morning, 700 pages that's handwritten from conversations with Spirit and with God, and with connecting to the Christ consciousness. So I will be sharing that in writings and videos, etc. And again, it's not to convince anybody. It's just such a precious, beautiful thing that I cannot keep it to myself. So that's why I am sharing it. Thank you all for watching this, and even those who are watching it later. I really, really hope, and it's my prayer that you will feel the love. I pray that the peace of Christ will be with you, with all of you. It's my hope that all sentient beings will be without suffering. So thank you so much, and I love you. I just want to love people.